So you see, just because this villain is a bug monster doesn't make her a bad person exactly. Hey folks, MasakoX here. With this story, it's been quite the adventure, and despite the initial premise being quite simple to fathom, the outcome has generated something rather palpable, powerful and poignant. With this basic modification to just one character, we've had the entire dynamic of Dragon Ball change, and arguably for the better. Instead of it becoming the Goku show later on, the tenacity of the Dragon team here as a whole, or as we like to call it, the Breakfast Club of Combat, has been increased exponentially. With this, the timeline here has generated a fantastic team, all centered around this Saiyan who had arrived on Earth, a female Saiyan, named Goku. What if Goku was female? Would it make a difference? Well, from what we've seen thus far, yeah, very much so. It all began with the different choice that Bulma had made in regards to this one. With Goku being female when she met her in the forest many years ago as a teenager, she felt more comfortable around her and, as a result of that, socialized more with her and brought Goku into the city to develop more humanistic social skills. And because of this, the Goku that we got was a much more rounded, tactful, and perceptive individual, which resulted in the Dragon team being very much close-knit than it's ever gotten in the story. However, of course, with the Saiyan revelation, it would naturally bring things down to earth, quite literally. The allure of power and the discovery of this part of her actual nature made Goku's loyalty to the team waver on many occasions, with the most recent one being the biggest departure yet when faced against their strongest enemy, it seems. Basically, a living embodiment of everything that actually made them up. In the last part, we had Celine wandering about the planet, having given the Breakfast Club some much needed time to get stronger and give her what she wants, a good fight. Now, a lot of you out there actually got quite excited about this because of the outcome. Win or lose, Celine would have gotten what she wanted. What could this mean? To further bolster their ranks also, Android 16 had been successfully rebooted after a very comprehensive shutdown earlier. When brought back online, he was charged to protect the planet after having done his first directive of ensuring Celine's birth. With this reset, his loyalty to the team was assured, and everything was getting in place for the final battle, and potentially a rebirth of Kaioken later on. But first, we gotta do the battle. Android 16 stood amongst the group, the team looking very wary of this creation, Goku especially. What made things all the more tense was that they couldn't sense how powerful he was, much like the other androids before they were gobbled up by Celine. Goku walked tentatively up to 16 and was expecting to be jumped, but it never happened. 16 just stood there, awaiting instruction. Hello? Android 16? 16 looked down and nodded.
Hello, Son Goku. I am ready to do as instructed.
Which is?
To assist in defending the Earth.
The group were very uncertain. Who is your master? Piped up a nervous Yamcha, and 16 looked to face him and said without falter,
Dr. Bulma of Capsule Corporation. My previous master was Dr. Giro, but after my original directive was met, I administered a total system shutdown. When restored, a new directive was initiated, which is why I stand here before you, to protect Earth and all that live on it.
16 was unwavering and stood resolutely in front of the club, having said his piece. Goku then leapt back and got into her attack stance, still not believing this thing, but 16 still didn't move. But then a shrill shriek came from the android, which sounded an awful lot like Bulma.
Goku, cut it out! He's telling the truth, okay?
Flummoxed by hearing Bulma's voice coming out of this tin can thing. Bulma, muttered Krillin. How is your voice coming out?
Two-way speakers, dummy. I can hear you and you can hear me, got it? I fixed him up real good, and he won't be trying to kill ya. He's on our side. He's programmed to serve the planet now. So stop the interrogation and get on with stopping Celine before she gets impatient.
The audio crackled into silence. Well, straight from the robot's mouth, I guess. Goku apologized for the suspicion, and 16 waved it aside.
It's quite alright, Son Goku. I understand your hesitancy. My internal scanners detect Celine approaching the lookout directly below us. Shall we intercept?
Goku looked at the others and nodded.
We'll stop by Korin's place and pick up some beans first.
Permit me to retrieve them for you. I can assist in that at least, and get them to you without delay.
The group looked at each other and then back to Goku.
Okay, but only give those beans to us, not Celine. Celine is the enemy, understood?
With that, 16 rushed off the lookout down to Korin's. The rest of the club headed off in the direction of Celine's power. A couple of minutes later, Celine met with the group on the prairies at the bottom of the tower that rose to the lookout. Her power had not changed since becoming perfect, and the gang were all sensing that she had no traps set in store for them. She was actually here on her own volition, and she bowed, smiling at the group.
My dear friends, you kept your word. That makes me very happy. Now I can realize my life's goal in fighting you all at once.
Yamcha was looking cocky, in fact. They were all with the same power potentially as Goku's Super Saiyan power against one bug woman at Kaioken times 50. You're barking up the wrong tree, Celine. This is gonna be an easy fight.
Of course you would say that, Yamcha. Your DNA is within me, as well as your traits of personality. Your overconfidence is your weakness, to which I know all about. You think this will be easy? Well, let's get started.
But before Celine got into her stance, she sensed something that displeased her. Seconds later, 16 landed behind the group with the beans successfully retrieved. Celine did not like this.
What is that thing doing here?
What's the matter, Celine? Afraid of a bigger number fighting ya? Shouted Krillin with defiance. The Brobot's on our side now! Celine grimaced, and then her attention turned to another interloper, future Kuroda.
And you? You intend to fight as well?
Kuroda smiled and nodded. Celine stood still before shaking her head.
No.
With that, she launched a death beam at Kuroda's chest, and it immediately disabled the future daughter of Krillin and Goku before anyone could react. The group was stunned, seeing Kuroda fall, coughing up with gasping breaths.
How could you?
Shrieked Chi-Chi.
Of all the underhanded, devious and evil things, we haven't even started fighting yet!
Celine looked back at Kuroda's twitching body and then to 16.
If you're going to stick around, Tin Can, you better give that one a beam. She won't die from that attack. Yet. That was a warning shot. Only you six may fight me, the original team that make up myself. If your future girlie there or the walking trash receptacle interfere, I won't hesitate in blowing up the planet without pause. Do you understand? I want to fight you as my programming intended.
The group grimaced and looked to Kuroda, who had been given a sensu beam and had started to recover from the wound, and then back to Celine.
All right, said Goku. Fine, we'll play your game. But no more surprises, got it?
Celine smiled.
Of course. You two?
She gazed at Kuroda and 16.
Get yourselves comfortable. This is going to be fun. Goku, you finally learned the importance of teamwork. I'm proud of you. Show me what you discovered.
With Kuroda and 16 watching on, the battle began. Celine and the Breakfast Club fought with everything that they had for the sake of the planet. Despite the massive number against one bug woman, the fight was surprisingly even. It seemed that Celine had an answer to every single technique and procedure that the club had going for them. What also hindered the group is that they had anticipated Kuroda fighting alongside them. But with her now being forced out of the battle because otherwise Celine would have a hissy fit, they were going in with fewer options at their disposal, and this sort of unsettled them, hamstrung in some sort of way. And Celine could sense their annoyance, and this led to them making mistakes along the way. They were banking on different tactics. It started off small with the occasional misplaced foot or overcharged ki attack, but then as fatigue started to wear in, bigger fumbles came about. Celine knew everything they could throw at her, and with her assuredness intact, as well as them being on the back foot for not getting what they want in terms of strategy, the team were now just having to struggle, despite their mathematical advantage. And then the biggest flashpoint arose. Yamcha, who had had enough of this pussyfooting around and effectively brick walling, pushed the Kaioken button, going times 100 first. Celine smirked.
And there we go.
The sudden jolt into Kaioken times 100 threw everybody off guard. This was far too early to use that! But Yamcha didn't care, and in an ironic move that sort of aped Chi-Chi's maneuver back on Namek, surged forward solo, trying to do everybody's work for them, using a Wolfbang fist whilst charged up. It made contact with Selene, and it very much struck true and hurt. She doubled back and collapsed and was in considerable pain. But she wasn't mad by this. No. She got up and laughed a devilish laugh while also looking very pleased. Good. The cracks are starting to show.
Cracks?
Shouted Chaozu.
What cracks?
Like I said, I know what makes you all tick, including how Kaioken works. And I could use it, but I don't need it. It's too tempting. Yamcha got sick and tired of this posturing and leapt forward in the same power output as before, which was hammering the point home to Selene as she took the blows. Seconds later, though, her point was proven. Yamcha fell to the ground in agony, his muscles twitching, his skin fraying, and him howling louder than the rowdiest pack of wolves. The group was shocked. Whoops! Guess Kaioken times 100 isn't that reliable after all. Unless you're a Saiyan, perhaps. She looked to Goku and chuckled. Go on. You could use that, and not break like this one. Yamcha was now being given a bean, Selene allowing this without question. Goku, though, was torn. She could use it, and thanks to her more robust physiology, she would be able to survive it. But, it would be going against the team, and just reiterating how different they all were, and would ultimately spell doom for the team in the long run. And Selene knew this. She was playing them all. But Goku wasn't going to be playing that game anymore. No. What? What do you mean, no? I'm not going to do that, Selene. What you see is what you get. No dice. Selene scowled, and with another beam, burnt the bag of remaining sensu beans. No more do-overs. This ends now. Tenshinhan turned to the rest, and they all promised themselves not to use Kaioken times 100 again, no matter the temptation. It just was not reliable enough. Yamcha was living proof. Kuroda, on the sidelines, was getting frustrated, watching all of this just unfolding without her unable to do anything. She's changing the rules again! We're doing what she wants, but that's still not enough! And here we are, unable to do a thing! 16 looked to Kuroda.
Who's to say you have to follow the rules?
Huh? But that almost got me killed! Why would I run in like that again?
There is a reason she doesn't want you to fight her. She doesn't know about you and what you can do. You are unpredictable.
16 had a point. Selene couldn't predict her since she had nothing to go off of, so to make sure that Kuroda couldn't pull any fast ones, she just straight up fired a warning shot, almost killing her. So, yeah, scare her away. But Kuroda wasn't scared. The battle was ramping up with everybody using Kaioken times 50 and Goku using Super Saiyan. Selene was hanging in there and using her mind to her fullest capacity, finding counters for all of the techniques that the team could muster. Selene was having the time of her life. She didn't wish to cause harm to the planet, no, nor to endanger the wider populace. She wasn't wanting to do any of that, especially now. She was having, right now, her wish being fulfilled. Yes! Yes! This is what I want! This is perfect! Something caught her eye, but the others were unwavering, making her unable to act. She was stuck. Kuroda, with her hands outstretched, sent forward a mighty beam of light from behind, which the others twigged at the very last moment, scattering. Selene had no answer, and thanks to her lack of knowledge and information on Kuroda, she couldn't counter in time, because she was an unknown. The beam struck her down, tearing through her torso. All that was left were a pair of legs. Was Selene no more? The gang was stunned and looked to Kuroda with both surprise and shock. Kuroda, why did you do that? I was tired of playing along with her warped demands. The Earth is in danger, don't you get it? I wasn't gonna sit there and allow this to happen without doing anything, like I've seen in the future. That thing had it her way long enough. The legs were starting to reform thanks to the regenerative capabilities of Piccolo that were a much smaller contingent now in this timeline because Piccolo wasn't much of a part, but It still was enough, and in seconds, she was reformed, but not looking her usual self. She was tired, fatigued, and utterly devastated. This took a lot out of her. The group surrounded her and were ready to blow her away. But what stopped them were tears. Celine was crying. Kuroda was unnerved by this. "Why are you crying?" she barked at Celine. Celine shifted to face her and was genuinely upset. "All I wanted was to fight the world's strongest fighters." Huh? Kuroda looked puzzled, all the while still in her Super Saiyan form. "You think I wanted to destroy this planet? Like every bumbling fool that's come before me? No. Why would I want that? I just wanted the chance to fight this formidable team. That's down to your contribution, Goku, and you lot's good nature and love for your world. The Doctor never anticipated this. He was a cruel and evil man, not understanding emotion properly and how it would work. Love, loyalty, friendship, they work in strange and mysterious ways. And I realized that, having gained perfection, the Doctor was a silly old fool. But still, you had to deny me this simple pleasure." Kuroda was unfazed, whilst the others looked kind of awkward. "Now what? You're gonna blow up the planet because you're not getting your way?" barked Kuroda. I speak the truth. I just wanted to fight with these 6 fighters. After that, I'd be satisfied and go about my way. I'd be happy, but you had to rob me that feeling." "Fine. Just end it." The club looked confused. "What?" "You heard me," said a despondent Cell. "End me. I've had as much as I can expect to get. You win." She knelt down and grabbed Goku's hand, placing it on her forehead. "Do it. Save the world, as you always do. Rid this planet of this hideous monster." She was still crying, tears streaming consistently down her face. Kuroda looked unmoved still. But Goku couldn't do it. "What are you waiting for? Do it!" screamed Celine. But Goku would not. The other team members felt the same way. This wasn't right. "Celine," said Krillin, "is that all you really wanted? To fight us? Spar with us?" Celine looked to him and slowly sniffed. "Yes, to have the thrill of combat in a fair battle." Chi-Chi spoke next. "But you killed many people to achieve your power." "For that, I'm sorry. My base instincts from the Doctor in that form were all I could think of. I do not take pride in that anymore, having been enlightened. I'm sorry." Tenshin Han's turn came next. "What do you plan to do now?" "I don't know. That was never coded into me." Chaozu then contributed. "Do you still wish to cause harm?" "No. As far as I'm concerned, I'm like the walking rust bucket over there. Without purpose. The allure of battle snuffed out by some cheap shot." Goku then realized something. This was how the group felt when she overused her Saiyan powers, and they couldn't. Trying to fight alone. This feeling of despondency, hopelessness, sorrow, the loss of something special. "Join us," said Goku. "What?" Celine whimpered. "Become part of our team. If you're truly sorry and wish to correct your mistakes, join us. Besides, you know us inside and out already," said Goku with a small smile. Celine was stunned. Purpose? Join you? And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. But what do you folks think? Will Celine take this opportunity with both hands, or will her base instincts from Jiro override her sensibilities? Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later! Woo!